I'll tell you why. The reason is many of the things that I've been shared with you yesterday, will share with you today, and even tomorrow. Um, you may not know it now, but it will actually be very pivotal to the way your life is going. Alright? And I just want to encourage you that at some point we get tired. At some point, the program might even appear boring to you. At some point, you are thinking of something else, you're hungry, whatever it is. Just push through these few days and ensure that whatever lesson you take from here, you apply it to your life. Alright? Alright? One more thing. We're in a generation where our attention span, gets cut off very quickly. We have almost everyone here has a phone, or I believe everyone here has a phone. Is everyone here that has a phone? Okay, some people do. The people that do, you get distracted, you see notification, you see something where. But if possible, in any of the sessions where the speaker is up and sharing some things with you, pay no attention to those notifications. They won't run away. So I have just say 45 minutes there about with you now. If anyone sends you a message now, or if someone posts something on Instagram now, in the next 1 hour, you still. Is that much? It is still beginning. So there's no need to stop gaining what you're gaining in the moment just because of something that you eventually gain in it. Alright? Okay. I have 3 objectives here today. And the first objective is I want to make sure everyone here understands what tech is and what a tech career looks like. I also want to ensure that we all have an idea to some extent the kind of careers, the kind of job roles, the kind of career path that exists in the world of tech. Right? And finally, I want to give you tips on how to get into tech. It's going to be a bit engaging, so at some point I will ask some of your questions, I'll give you the mic to answer. Don't be shy. How many of us are here? Less than 50, right? So we're good now. Alright. So when I give you the mic to say something, feel free, just say, whatever, how you see. Okay? Now, I believe that by the time we're done here, everyone will have a sense of direction for their career, regardless of if it's tech or not. Right? And just one more thing before I go forward. You don't have to try to write down everything I'm saying. What the most important thing is the focus of me, you're gaining from what I'm saying. And 1, 2, 3 things might strike you, they might be, they might make sense to you. You can write those down. But you know how we do in our secondary schools and our universities and the lecturer is speaking, they're trying to write, they're trying to copy notes, There's no need. You won't get anything if you try to write everything. Does that sound about it? That sounds However, you don't have to write everything, that's just one thing, alright? If you hear 1 or 2 things that sound very important to you, you can put it down, but you don't have to write it. Okay? Alright, is there anyone in the university here? Okay, I can see 2 hands. Is there anyone in secondary school? All of us. Okay. So before today, have you heard about anything tech? Okay. What have you heard about tech? You want to share? What is it?
What kind of start by page? Tech is all about transforming the world into a new generation, like taking the world, advancing the world, like
Okay, what does that mean? And the advancing world, what does that mean?
the world of inventing stuff.
Inventing stuff.
Yes,
Okay. Any other?
discovering things that no one has ever discovered.
All right, thank you very much. Let's put our together.
So advancing the world is just inventing new things, discovering things that no one has discovered. Those things are not peculiar to tech, but they're common in tech as well. All right. Does anyone else want to share anything they know or they've heard or they've read somewhere about tech? Any other person? Okay. Is someone raising their hand? Okay. I'll just go on. So what is tech? Now, tech is short form for technology, right? It's short form for technology. However, in the context of our conversation, context I mean in the way we converse today, right? When you say tech, there are some things that, according to the meaning of the word, right, they are tech, but they are not what we're referring to. So, how many of us are in science class now? Alright, a lot of us. Now, for those of you in science class, I'm sure some of you are thinking, okay, I want to. I've seen this one. Okay, it's fine. For those of us in science class, I'm sure some of you want to do engineering, right? Elect, men, civil. What do you want to study? You want to study robotics, okay? That's the form of engineering. Mechanical, why? You love it? Okay. Good. Why are you laughing? Is there another person in? For just in the university, I used studying any engineering course, any science course. Alright. There was someone here else that's in the university. Okay. Any other person who wants to study engineering? You want to study? Okay. Now, those things that you mentioned, robotics or electrical engineering or chemical engineering or mechanical engineering, they are all technology, right? They are all engineering. But in today's world, when people say tech, that's not what they are referring to. Although those things are technology. I'm driving somewhere, just follow me, alright? Now, has anybody heard about IT? IT support, networking. You know how you go into some offices, you see people, all those people that build computer, anytime maybe someone has an issue, they are the ones to take their computer to, you know, those kind of people, right? Now, those people deal with technology. But in today's world, when we say tech barriers, that's not what we are referring to. So what exactly are we referring to? Okay. Tech, the world of tech revolves around everything that has to do with software, digital products, all right? Everything that has to do with software. Now, let me read out something I put down to see what a tech career is in today's world. Alright? So, a tech career is when a person's professional life or career involves creating, managing, or selling digital. How do I think I go? This thing will be right. If I ask you tomorrow, will you really defend your confess? But it's okay. It's okay. I've learned that some people, that's how they follow. So a tech career is when the person's professional life or career involves creating, managing, or selling digital technology solutions. Now, so what is a digital technology solution? Again, simply software. Now, let me give you examples that you can relate to. Who has a favorite app here? Alright, what's your favorite app? Netflix. Awesome. So you like movies, right? Okay, Netflix. What's your favorite app? You don't have. Alright, what's your favorite app? X or Twitter or what new most people know. Alright. Does anyone that person want to share their favorite app? By the way, we're going to do some. Well, I wouldn't say practical, but we'll break down careers that are attached to your favorite apps structure. So Netflix, I will walk you through different career paths, different job roles that make sure that Netflix that you're seeing and you're watching movies through exists. So that you can relate with what are these tech careers, alright? So Netflix, what other app do you guys like? Nobody likes WhatsApp. Facebook, Telegram. Nobody likes Snap here. Alright, Snap, alright. TikTok. Is anybody here on TikTok? WhatsApp. Pardon? Movie box. Alright, great. Which other one? I like the uncommon one. Which other one? Pardon? Novel. I don't know it. You call. Okay, good. Good example, actually. Do you know why I said that's a good example? It's a productivity tool. It's not somewhere you go to watch movies or to chat with your friends and all of that. That's a very good example you got. I think I should use that example. Pardon? Adobe Premiere. Adobe Premiere Pro, good one. Photoshop, Figma. Alright. Now, I guess with those examples, you guys already have a sense of what I'm talking about when I'm saying tech. So, did you notice that in all those things I said, I did mention transformer, power plant, motor vehicle. Those things are part of the world of engineering, it's technology that brought those things to life. But in 2024, when we say tech careers, those are not the things we refer to. We're referring to digital stuff that you can use with your mobile devices or your computers, etc. Alright? Are we together? Okay. Now, let's quickly go over the kind of roles that exist in tech. Alright? Let's go over the kind of roles that exist in tech. Has anyone heard of? Okay, there are two different classes. There are technical roles and non-technical roles. Alright? Technical roles are roles that involve you using a particular technical skill to do something. So, have you guys heard of software development? Software engineer, front end, back end, blah, blah, blah. You guys have heard of all those things, right? Wait, have you guys heard of, I'm sure you guys will have heard of cyber security. Yes. Right? Yes. Right? I think that's common. I'm sure you guys will have heard of data analytics. Yes. Abi? Okay. Those are all technical roles. And simply put, it's because there are specific skills that they use to bring things to life. So software engineer, they use software development packages, they use IDEs, they use, I don't want to go into all of that because of the demographic of people we have here. Alright. I was thinking we will have more of people in the university, but don't worry, it's fine. Just follow me. Okay. So there are software engineering roles, there are data science roles, there are design roles, there are DevOps roles, there are cybersecurity roles. All those are technical roles. They are technical career paths in tech. Now, I will quickly tell you one thing about each of them to just give you a sense of what those things mean or what they relate to, and then we move on to the next thing. Is that fine? Is that fine? Okay. Now, software engineers, what do they do? How can I explain it? Very relatable terms. Okay. You guys have seen movies, right? And maybe you've seen a movie where there's supposed to be one guy who's a hacker, and then he's typing something on his computer, and there's this black screen, and then there are numbers, there are letters that look like one language that everybody understands. You guys have seen those things in movies, right? Now that's question. You can't feel the word. I got Basharuga. I didn't wish you to. Alright. So, seriously, software engineers essentially, they write codes. They write those things that don't do understanding to the ordinary people in their computers, and then when they put those things together and they compile it, they form those softwares that you use. Those things are just a bunch of binary codes, ones and zeros, in a computer that's been compiled together, and it forms the software you use. So that WhatsApp that you're using, that's Instagram, that's Twitter, that Netflix, it is all ones and zeros in the back end that just come together to be interpreted in a way that you can use it. So that's what software engineers do. I would rather go into details of different areas of software engineering if maybe you have questions in that part. By the way, I believe that we'll learn more with questions that we ask. So I'm going to go through everything I have to share with you, and I'll be happy to answer any question you have. Alright? Okay, we're going to data analyst, right? We're data scientists. Now, who are data scientists? They are basically people that collect data from every and anywhere and analyze those data to make better decisions. Should I give you an example of how that works? Okay, does anybody use, okay, if you use Instagram a lot, can I see it? I understand that those that currently do not have phones might not relate to some of the examples, so I will try and see if I can use one that doesn't require you to have interacted with a lot of it. Okay, so does anybody here use Snap a lot or TikTok? Okay, so I think Instagram has more people, right? So I can use that as an example. Okay, so if you have an Instagram account, there's something called your timeline, right? There's something called explore. That page where you just see random links, random pictures that have been posted by different people, right? Answer me. Okay, good. Now, if you get on that page, do you notice something that if you have viewed some kind of post before, and you have liked some kind of post before, similar posts like that continue to appear on the explore page on the timeline for you? Did you guys notice that? That's the work with data science. So what they have done is they have gathered data from all the posts that you have interacted with. They have used this to form something that will suggest to you things that you like. So they gather data from you, and then of course they have data from every other place. And they're like, oh, is anybody called Talali? Or Tolu? Yeah, give me a name. Basit, okay, go on. Alright, so Basit likes to watch videos about cars. He likes cars. Alright? So Basit has been seeing things about cars. That data of all the time he has spent watching cars, they collect it and they're like, okay, because he likes this kind of cars, all the people in Instagram, in and around where we're seeing news and in the world that post about us, they will direct their post towards where Basit account is, so that Basit can continue to see things like that. That's a simple way to explain what data scientists do. So they basically analyze it and use it to make better decisions. Okay, let's talk about design. I think this is more relatable. Do you guys know what a graphic designer is? Do you know what a graphic designer is? Okay? Do you know what a graphic designer is? You think so? Yes, okay, good. Do you guys know what a product designer is? Have you heard about things like this before? Okay, let me explain. So, can you guys look back? Can you see that banner that has Yaka on it? Alright? Yellow background, some blue things, Yaka is written in blue and all of that. Okay, so if you see this, you can face me back now. There is someone that sat down on a computer and used some software to put that together so that it can look like what you're seeing. Those are designers. And there's so many different kind of designers. There's some people that their specialty is they design the software that you're using. So the fact that maybe your like button is on the left side, or your explore button is in the middle, or that Instagram is purple and not white and black, or that WhatsApp is green and not yellow, or that Facebook is blue and not red, right? There are some people that make this decision, and those people have an important role to play in how those things look that will enable you to use it. Those are the signs, all right? Now, let's talk about non-technical roles in tech. So now, if you look at UPOT, I mean, yeah, that's the one they use to edit videos, edit reviews, and all those things. Okay, good. Now, if you look at that software, for example, when someone created it, they didn't just leave it in their computer and then people all over the world started using it. Is that what happened? No. They did some things that put those softwares in the face of the people who need to use them so that they can use them. Alright? So now, there are some career paths you can take in the world of tech that don't require you to write any code. They don't require you to do cyber security. They don't require you to analyze data. They don't require you to design. But they are still tech careers. So that's what I want to use you now. So we have sales. And some of these roles, they appear or they exist in other industries that are not tech. In HR, in logistics, in academia, teaching, in school, whatever it may be. These roles exist anywhere else. But the reason why they can be classified as tech careers is because these roles are applied in technology companies, in the world of tech. Remember I said something about the tech career. I said it is a career that involves you creating, managing, or selling a digital technology solution. Alright. So now, sales is one of them. Marketing is another. I'm sure most of us have heard of digital marketers. Or at least some of us have heard about digital marketers. Okay? They say you're doing ads on Facebook, like doing this. Social media managers. Alright? Those are some roles that are, when I say marketing inclined. Okay, there are operations roles. Has anyone heard about project management? You heard about project management, product management. See? There are also finance roles in tech. So basically, roles that involve, okay, I've created the software, I've created YouTube, I've created Netflix. How do people all over the world use it? How do they pass it use it? Meanwhile, I created the software in Lekki, or I created it in Camp. How will show you use it, right? These roles that involve selling, marketing, managing the delivery of different things within that, they are non-technical roles, all right? Okay, so let's do an illustration. There were some examples of some softwares that were given earlier, right? Netflix, Twitter, you said Adobe Premiere Pro. Okay, and so people said, yeah, favorite software is Facebook, right? Let me use Netflix as an example. If you don't know what Netflix is, let me see. So I know you guys should come. You don't know what Netflix is. It's fine if you don't know. Is there anybody in the world that knows? Do you know what Netflix is? You know what it is? Do you know what it is? Okay, that's right. Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? Yes. Do you know what it is? Do you know? Okay, so on this road, someone more person that doesn't. Do you know what Netflix is? Do you? Do you? Do you? Okay, so most people do. See, there's this app on phones, on laptops, and on some TVs now that you used to watch it. You sign into it, you select any movie you watch, and if you have internet, carry you watch your movie. So, I'm focusing on how I'm really laughing that does not understand what Netflix is because of the example I want to give so that everyone can relate. Okay? So now, okay, you're very young, you might not know this example, but there was a time that to watch movies in our house, we have to go to stores, you know, they sell recharge cards, right? You go and borrow CD. You know, you can borrow CD and put inside CD player in your house and watch, you know. Some people who can borrow CD of 8 seasons, 21 seasons movies, all those K-drama fans. Alright, so that's how we used to watch movies before. But someone said, why do I have to leave my house and walk to somewhere to go and borrow CD so I can watch movie? So we created something that on your phone, you can watch movies, any movie you like, on your computer, on your TV. You don't even need to have DSTV. You don't need to have good TV. So when we have access to the internet, and sometimes, you know, even if you don't have, you download the movie on your TV, you can just watch it. Alright, so basically, what's it? More. Okay. Can I get more? Does that work? Is it more? Okay. Alright, so you understand what Netflix is now, right? Good. So now, I'm going to share or list some career paths that came together to ensure that in your house you can use Netflix. On your phone, you can use Netflix. Alright? Okay. Someone said you have one. So, let's assume all those things are not varied, right? Now, Netflix the idea was gotten by someone, right? The idea was gotten by someone. And for that idea to come to life, some things have to happen. Alright? Cue the software engineers.
the product designer, and the software engineer. So, Real manufacturers said, okay, I want to create something that anybody anywhere in the world can use to watch movies. They don't have to go and borrow movies and then all of that. And then they started ideating. But someone will ask, this thing that we create, what should it look like? What should it look like? Alright. That's where designers come into play. Someone says, oh, we are calling it Netflix. The logo should be M. It should be red. Why should it be red? Some people went through the process of making that decision. By the way, happiness. I forgot to time myself. Please. So people decided to make that decision. Oh, okay. Let this to be a red M. And when you sign into it, the first thing you need to see is an ad of a movie that the user will like. So both sides will come up with those things and then they design it into user interfaces, basically what you can see. Remember I pointed at that thing and I'm like, someone put that thing together, someone decided that it's going to be blue and yellow that will suit this, and then they put it on the software and all of that. So some people did that for Netflix. Then the next thing, how will this thing that we can see come to life? Right? How will someone be able to use it? Then they brought in the engineers, the software engineers. They decided to start writing code. Those codes will make that thing you can see active. It will turn maybe a word into a button that you can click. It will turn a shape into something that if you put your cursor on it, it will turn into something else. It will ensure that when they load a movie on it from their office, the back end, you can see. Some people designed it, some people decided to write the code. Those are software engineers. Okay? And then when they did all of that, some people have decided that for those who are active users of Netflix, you notice that if you watch a movie on Netflix and you click on like or add to my list, just like Instagram, more movies that look like that will be recommended to you. Alright? Now, suppose that okay, we'll use all the data in the background to make that thing come to life. Okay, has anybody heard about AI? Interesting. But I'm asking about some engineering roles and everything. Some of you are like, but everyone has heard of AI. Okay, that's fine. So AI is a subset of data science, by the way. It's a subset of data science. So, anyways, let me use the word you can relate with AI. So, we're trying to build AI into software, into Netflix, so that when you sign in with your preferences and everything, they will make only the movies you like to. So, some people think that, right? Now, when you think of that, Netflix is not free, right? It's not free now. You pay, how much days to pay now? Is it 14,000 naira? How much? It depends, right? So, what's the cheapest one? 2002. Wow. Alright, no problem. So, now, you need to pay to use Netflix. But that also means that some people who don't want to pay, we want to hack it, right? We want to hide it, right? Right?
Yes.
Now, another set of people came into the picture. They said, okay, you know what? We need to do some things that will detect people's IP addresses, or basically to detect where you are watching from, so that you can't hack it, so that multiple people cannot use Netflix at the same time on just one subscription. You know that's it people do that. Somebody will subscribe, they will not share the login details to everybody, all those kind of things. So we decide that okay, because we want to make money, we don't want to lose and just have one subscription and 100 people are watching using that one subscription, right? we need to put some security measures in place. Then here comes the security expert. Do you guys see how, for just one thing called Netflix, different career paths are coming together to make it happen? Okay. Now, by the time they do all of that, okay, we've created this amazing thing called Netflix. How will Oyo in Lagos State see Netflix? I mean, Netflix was not created by Nigerians, right? It was created in the US, right? So why will Oyo in Nigeria see it? Why will Google in Nigeria see it? Here comes the marketers. Right? They decide, okay, we are going to find a way to sell Netflix and push it all over the world so that everyone in the world can see it. And that's where the marketing guys come in, digital marketers, social media guys, offline marketers, so many different kind of marketers, right? They came into the picture, they started introducing it to different people around the world, they started advertising on TV, they started advertising everywhere so that you can see it, then you can get home, and then you can subscribe, and you can start watching from the comfort of your home. So that, my friends, is a typical example of how so many different career paths lead to just one solution. I can say the same thing for Adobe Premiere Pro. I can say the same thing for Twitter. I can say the same thing for Instagram, etc. Typically, in digital technology solutions, all these different roles, they come together to make something that people like, to make something that people want, and to make something that people want to use. All right, before I continue, let me ask. So, if all of us here were to sit down and want to create something new, something different to solve the problem, is there anybody here that would like to be on the side of design? You just like to decide how things should look. What color? Raise your hand up. Raise your hand up. All right, good. Raise your hand. Sorry, they're giving me mine.
Alright, so you want to be on the design side. You like color, I mean, County. But when are you going to I will see Ama. Victory. Alright, good. Now, if you know you are the one that you like to use that black screen, you don't use lights and letters that people don't understand, you like to feel like a hacker. Write those things so that that thing that victory council that says that thing that is designed will come alive. You like to write the code. Michael. Okay. Michael. What class are you? You're through secondary school. You only get admission. Alright. So what course do you want to study? Computer science. Okay. On the right path. Done. Okay, so when those things are done, if you know that the one that you believe that whether county and victory, the design people and all Basits and Mani, they've written the code, it has come to life. We have a brand new app, we're going to be millionaires. I think Michael, right? He has factored in everything that nobody can come and steal what they have done. Okay? If you know that one that has after all those things, who will use them? Now we will still sell out for you. If you know you like to do things like maybe you want to really want to market it, you don't really want to put it in people's faces, you don't really want to sell it, let me see your hand. What's it? Okay, good. So now, you can tell that here, people are taking interest in so many different things. All right? And that's the nature of tech, right? there are so many ways to get into tech. There are so many career paths in tech. And it is possible that so many different people who think in different ways, who don't have the same skill set, work in the same organization to create something amazing, like I described with Netflix. Is that correct? That's looking more tangible. That's looking more real to everybody now, right? Right? Okay. If I'm making me feel so boring, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Has anyone heard either maybe in your school, maybe at home, maybe in your church, or your mosque, or anywhere, right? Have you heard people saying that tech is the way now? Is it tech is the new oil? Have you heard this say that everybody needs to get into tech? All those things. You sound like that in the doing, right? What is it? Amina, sorry. So, which side am I on now? Should everybody get into tech? No, I will get to that point. So we've heard so many, in quote, amazing things about tech. Let me start from here. It is not without reason. People are not just saying it for saying it. Let me tell you something. Many of us here, or let me start from maybe the older ones. I'm sure, even this is for everyone, including you guys as well. I'm sure when you finish school, right? Did you choose the course you studied at in school? All right. How many people in the class chose that course? Or it was just what their parents recommended to them? What course did you do? Accounting. Lovely. Now, many a time, you like that, right? Is that what you want to do? Make sure you ask that question before you move it. All right. All right. So now, many a time you find parents say, lawyer lọ́wọ́ máa ṣe, doctor lọ́wọ́ máa ṣe, engineer lọ́wọ́ máa ṣe, and those things. Do you guys know that in as much as those things sound very annoying to us, just the way it is sounding in tech now, everybody is saying, do tech, do tech, do tech, and it's sounding annoying. It's not without reason. There were some things in different times that prompted people to prioritize those career paths. So let me list a few things that make tech careers attractive to most people. Then I will mention a few myths about tech careers. Then I will talk about how to get into tech. I've really taken a lot of time to explain what tech really is. Okay. So there's no barrier to entry. So you as you are here now, without having a university degree yet, can get into tech and make a lot of money. While I was doing IT labs, I once employed someone that did not have a university degree. He was just 2 years out of secondary school. And guess what? He was one of the best software engineers in the company, and he was the youngest. He was about, I think he was 17 or 18 years old. No, he was 16 when he joined. And in 2 to 3 years, out of everyone who had worked, in our company then, when I checked their career path, he was one of the people earning the most. Bola, that's his name. By the time he was 20, he was earning almost $1 million a month. A month. And he did not have a university degree. That's one of the reasons why a lot of people are saying get into tech, get into tech, get into tech. Now I'll tell you for free, whatever you do, get a degree. But that's conversation for another day. Alright? So the barrier to entry is very low. There's a lot of materials everywhere, there's a lot of support, there's a lot of community, etc. Another advantage why a lot of people want to get into tech is remote work. You can work from home. You don't need to get on the bus and find your way to Bali and get money so that you can get the work. Most careers, most roles in tech, you can do them from home. You don't need to be in a physical office to do them. Another reason why a lot of people want you to get into tech is the financial bit, right? You don't need to have 10 years experience to earn a lot of money in tech. Sometimes with just 2 years experience, 3 years experience, you have started earning, 500K a month, even more than that, right? In different roles in tech. So it is true that there are upsides and a lot of people want to get into tech because of things like that. All right? But let me talk about the myths of tech careers. Things that are commonly said, but they are not true. Everyone should get into tech. It's not true. Not everyone should go into tech. Some people are not made to work in tech companies. Some people are not made to write code. Some people are not made to do that. Some people want to be accountants, and that is fine. It's not compulsory for everyone to get into tech. You guys hear me? You guys hear me? In as much as there's a lot of advantages, right? There's a lot of financial upsides. You can get rich and all of that. It is not for everyone. And if you don't have interest in it, or maybe you don't have the skills, or maybe there's something else you have going for you, you don't necessarily need to go into it. But if you ask me, if you have the choice, you can go into it, and there's a lot of good there for it. Another common thing that people say is that you can become an expert very quickly. So I gave you an example of dollar on now, right? And I said Dollar was young, he was 16, he joined the company, and before he was 20, he was earning a lot of money and all of that. And many people take that to feel that in 6 months or in 1 year, they can become a millionaire in tech. It's a lie. It's a lie. In as much as it's faster than most other career paths to become very rich, it still takes some time as well. All right? It still takes some time as well. There's another one. People say, oh, just learn this tech skill. Go to this boot camp, learn data science. In 1 year, you go blow. This, that. See, it requires a lot of hard and intentional work. It's not as easy as many people paint it to be, but it is sure worth it. All right? All right? It's sure worth it, but it's not as easy as many people paint it to be. Okay. Just something I think I need to mention in passing. There's a narrative I've been seeing, go around recently about equating or making similarities between tech and Yahoo. They are different. They are not the same thing. They are not the same thing. One is fraud, is theft. The other is honest work. They are different. And they don't even require the same set of skills. All right? Okay. All right, so how do you get into tech? First, like we have done, now we know some roles in tech, right? We know some roles in tech already, right? Now, you need to know yourself. So, the person that introduced me said something. Said when I was wrapping up or when I was in school, I discovered that I wasn't going to focus on the core engineering side of engineering, and I decided to go into the business side of things. That's an example of knowing yourself. Now I know I don't want to sit down in front of a black screen and write code. All right, so I chose other parts of them. All right, you learn a skill, you work on projects, you join a company, and how else can I explain this? But I guess I will just stop here because some of the recommendations about getting into tech might, let's say, might fly over some of us because most of us are still in secondary school. But this is what I will just charge you with. If you've identified areas that you like in tech and you want to get into tech, you want to have a tech career, something that is very important for you. For you to learn and grow very quickly is you need to be obsessed with learning. Yes, I use the word obsessed deliberately because it will require you to think about it always. What's the next thing to learn? What's the next skill to learn? You need to be obsessed with learning. You need to pick up the right skills that align with that career path that you say you like, and then you need to be obsessed with action. So you don't just learn JavaScript or HTML or what else? Digital marketers or CSS. You don't just learn those things, you put them to practice. You work on projects, you look for things to do. And of course, like we said, you can work remotely, you can get things and all of that. And from there you can go upwards. But here's something you need to know. To get into a tech career, you need to have a specific degree. It's advantageous to have further down the line. So right outside of secondary school, you can get into a boot camp, learn some of these things, and then get into a job from there. You can do it while you are studying in school, right? You can work on it part-time, build your skills over the while, and carry on from there. All right. I'd like to take questions now. Does anyone have any questions? So can we say that we all understand what tech careers are? You have a question? All right. So let's put down together for her. Let's put down together for her.
Like, how is this people run career when they build maybe like an app or a website or so, we don't just leave it like they are done with it. We don't leave it for us to use, or would they continue to like, how do I explain?
Improve on it.
I don't know how to explain. For example, now like I want a recommendation, I want to search on Netflix. When I search, are they the ones giving me the recommendation, or is already programmed into the app to give me the recommendations? Like when they are done with the app, do they just leave it that okay, people should be using it to until they want to update it, or they continue to work on it every single time?
All right, good question. Let's put hands together for her again. Good question. So the built the app, the business, people have started signing up on it. You need to keep working on it. The answer is yes, but not in the way you mentioned. So now you said when you type, like maybe you're searching for a movie. What's the most popular movie now? What's the most popular movie? Like that movie series? Huh? There are many, just mention him and just tribe of Judah. So the tribe of Judah. That's we can really right? All right, good. So the tribe of Judah, you put the tribe of Judah on Netflix and you put it into your app and you search for it. Now, when you search for it, let's pay attention. So when you search for it, that's your name, right? Yeah. So when you search for tribe of Judah on Netflix, it's not like it will pop up on the computer of someone in California who wants to meet you and say, I am looking for tribe of Judah. Let me go to the file. I'm ready to ask you. There is already programs that are running, that has been built and running to give you the recommendation. All right, but they still work on improving the softwares every day. All right, so before it might be that when you search for tribe of Judah, it will show you only tribe of Judah. But you just notice that maybe after a few weeks, when you search for tribe of Judah, it will show you tribe of Judah and show you other movies that are similar but are not tribe of Judah. You know that those two movies are different. So now, those are the two different features. So there's something you call feature in the software. All right. So when you update it every time, okay. Let me use a very common software, Instagram. Is if you've been using Instagram for a while, as Instagram always has stories. There's a time Instagram did not have stories. There's a time WhatsApp did not have stories. There's a time Facebook did not have stories. All right. But people were using those apps then. That's the time they look at it. If you allow people to post pictures and to post text that will disappear in a short time, it will bang. They tried it. They added it to what was existing. A new thing that was added. And they saw that it works and they removed it. Now, the other new features that they are releasing, what else? Now you can make group calls. Do you guys know that there was a time that you could not call with WhatsApp? Yes, there was a time like that. Now you can call one person, then it went from 1 to 4, then went from 4 to 8. So they kept working on it, ensuring that it was getting better and better. So yes, they keep working on it, but something that has to do with maybe fetching of information. No, it's not like they manually give information like that. Do you understand? All right, any other questions? Does anybody have any question? Does anyone have any question about what they need to do to start a particular, to start on a particular path, in tech that maybe they are interested in? All right, what's the question?
Like if you want to become like a hacker now, what are the steps that you can start from?
Okay. Um, did you speak into the mic? But you can give it to them. Okay, so I'm not Basit expand the question, or Basit said, if you want to be a hacker, what are the steps to take? Now, I can see side comments, some of you are looking at it, some of you are smiling. And the reason you're doing that is because many of you believe hackers are bad people, right? Right? You are not wrong if you think that way, but I want to give you more information. Is that correct? Who said no? Who said no? Okay, good. Now, there are two types of hacking. There are ethical hackers and there are unethical hackers. All right. Okay. Let me start from what hacking is. Hacking is basically finding vulnerable parts of the system to get into the system to take advantage of it. We gave an example before about people wanting to use Netflix without paying, right? That's a way of taking advantage of a vulnerability in Netflix system to be able to watch free movies, right? Let me bring an example that maybe will come home. So there was a time that on some kind of phones, especially Syrian phones, you can browse for free with MTN and with Opera Mini. How many of us can relate to them? Some of you browse for free. You are stealing MTN's money. That was it. You repented and okay. So here's the thing. There are different types of hackers. There are ethical hackers and there are unethical hackers. So unethical hackers basically try to um, take advantage of vulnerabilities in a system so that they can use the value that that system has without paying for it, or to get data from that system that they can use to blackmail someone, or to get information that are not public knowledge from that system so that they can use it to their advantage somewhere else. That's basically unethical hacking. But do you guys know that there are some people that, apart from being cybersecurity guys, their role is to find everything that those unethical guys know and create defense systems so that one, they can prevent the unethical guys from getting into the system, and two, they can find the unethical guys when they get into the system. Do you understand? Okay, let me put it this way. You know how some people say that, oh, the best way for policemen to catch thieves is for them to think like thieves. Yes, I did not mention police of any country. But yeah, you guys understand what I mean. And I'm sure in some of the movies you've seen stuff like that. You see them that maybe they caught someone who is a bad guy, then they will make him an informant. Right? They make him an informant that you should tell the CIA or the FBI guys how the bad guys, broke into a particular system so they can catch him. That is basically what it means to be an ethical hacker. So you doing the opposite with the same skill set that those guys have. So now, while yes, a lot of hackers are bad, there are also a lot of hackers that they are good hackers. They are willing to counter what the bad guys are doing. Do you get me now? So I'm not going to ask Basit which one you want. All right, so what are the steps? Hacking requires a lot of things. It requires you to understand software, so software engineering. It requires you to understand human behavior. It requires you to understand networking systems. All right. I don't have time to go into networking. All right. But how data packages move from one point to the other. It requires you to know all those things. All right. And I would just say practically, if you want to get into hacking, some of the things you need to know by yourself: software engineering, cybersecurity, and networking. Right? So you need to know those things, to understand human behavior. Then there are programs and courses that you can take to understand everything about hacking. So there are certified ethical hackers. They make a lot of money, by the way, a lot of money. Because organizations pay top money to have people within the organizations that prevent hackers from making away with their money or their information and all of that. So did that help you? Does anybody have any other question? All right, Aaron.
Data analysts or data scientists, you don't necessarily have to be programmers. Because you said when it's data, so you watch a lot of TikTok,
Okay.
you recommend such stuff for you. These are the right people to recommend such stuff for your manual.
Okay. Thank you. Good question. But you said you're not in science, right? What was I doing? Mass com. Why do you want to know this thing? It's fine, no, I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just curious because you're asking questions that people who are already in tech careers, are asking, like they are really important questions. Okay, so do the data scientists have to be programmers? Not necessarily. They don't have to be, but they work side by side with programmers. And they do some things that basically is like programming in of itself. There are some softwares they use, there are some things they use that is very similar to programming, but it's basically managing tons of data, analyzing tons of data, and all of that. And engineers now convert the analysis or the result of all those analysis that they use in those data, use it to inform use it to inform how their software will behave. So data scientists don't work alone; they work with software engineers to have a common goal. So in the case of that recommendation system, so data scientists has written algorithms, that collect the data to recommend that, oh, this person likes tribe of Judah. That means they might like um, breath of life. Right? Someone that likes tribe of Judah might like breath of life, right? So now they've gotten the data that suggests that they hand it over to the software guys to plug it into their software. So the software uses that data to make the decision of recommending breath of life to you. So the recommendation is not manual. All right? Any other question? Or can I leave and let you enjoy? Okay, last question. YouTube.
Can you give her the mic, please? Or him? Sorry, him. I didn't see you well. I didn't.
What are the process to be a
Okay. Is that what you want to become? Okay. Okay. Is there anyone else that knows what a full stack web developer is? It's fine if you don't. You don't need to laugh at yourself. Is that not why you're here? That's why you're here now. You learn these things and take action. That's why you're here. Okay. So what are the steps to be a full stack web? So a full stack web developer is essentially a software engineer that builds web applications. You know. But now, to explain further what a full stack is, you know I said that there are software engineers. Now, there are different types of software engineers. There are front-end guys, there are back-end guys. All right. So a full stack person essentially has skills to do both front-end and back-end. Now, what does front-end mean? Remember I said some people will design what it will look like, right? And some people write things that will make that thing you are seeing come alive. Right? Now, there are some people that work on, okay, so all those data that is coming alive is coming from somewhere. Right? There are some things that they are simply logic. So there are some people that focus on those things, the database, the logic that powers that thing that's coming alive. There are some people that focus on that visual you are seeing it coming alive. Now, a full stack person does both of them. So he by himself can build an entire website, back end, front end, make everything come alive and work by himself. Now, what does it require? Simple. Learn front end skills, learn back end skills, use both of them together every time. You might have further questions. So why don't you come to me, maybe after this session is over and I'll explain further to you because I think my time is up. Will you do that? All right, thank you, Victory. So thank you guys so much for having me. I wish you all the best in your career.